The Niners are back today, everybody. Here we are at the end of preseason. We're coming off a win against the Broncos in our third preseason game. But we enter, and the ranks that we have out of preseason are pretty bad offense scoring-wise. The passing game seems to have worked pretty well, but the run game's not really working. But apparently, the defense played very well in preseason. We'll go through stats here in a moment, but the Cardinals and Rams went 3-0. We were 1-2 like the Seahawks were. Now we have 16 cuts. Trade offers for Aldridge and Chisholm, but I'm going to just ignore those because I don't plan on trading either of those guys away. But let's cut a couple of players here. Let's just go position by position. I'll keep McFarland for now. For running back, definitely going to cut Jimmy Franks here. Fullback, don't need two. We're just going to move Robbie Covington to our practice squad. At receiver, we'll move, we got 7 active, so we can move 2 of them if we want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, I'm going to cut Quincy Weatherspoon and keep Allman on the roster. And then a tight end, we've got only 3 players. Left end, we could probably just cut Lonnie Brooks and let Aldridge and Clay Farr and the other guys figure out who should be returning next season, because we have 3 right tackles. That's all those guys. So I think we're good there. We definitely get rid of Byron Murphy, left guard. Good at center, good at right guard. I'll move Clay Farr to left tackle, or maybe not him, but probably Aldridge, because Farr gave up so many sacks last year. And then for the defensive line, who do we cut? I don't want to cut Delaren Lincoln yet, but it's not like he's proven anything to me so far. Applewhite is a rookie, but I don't think he's going to make the roster. I'll put him on the practice squad. For defensive tackle, definitely going to move Oscar Judge out of here. And I'll keep Brandon Ward, obviously. He's been solid. Middle linebacker's fine. Got to cut 8 more players. I'll cut Gil Thompson. And then at corner, we can cut a lot of players. Derek Weatherspoon, Chris Briggs, maybe 2 more. We did draft a lot of corners recently and traded for several, but I think it's time for us to probably just move on from Reggie Oliver and George Austin. So I'll move him to the practice squad, and I am going to cut Austin, so gain some stuff there. But we're going to have Staley, Spriggs, Ford, Parker, Betts, and Kilroy as your 6 corners. And we are going to play Spriggs as the number 3 behind Betts and Kilroy. So that's the game plan for the secondary. Got 3 more cuts to make. I will cut Tramone Davis. We got 2 more cuts. Who do we do? I think it's probably, maybe we should just move McFarland to our practice squad now. I think that makes sense. Now 1 more. I think it's going to have to be one of these defensive linemen. Probably Delaren Lincoln, honestly. I don't want to cut him. So hopefully nobody picks him up off our practice squad. 2 upgrade points for Tyler Stevens, and I'm going accuracy, no doubt. He already came in with a lot of kick power. Plus 2 accuracy right there. He's got 96 power, 87 accuracy now. Give us 2 more. Come on. Goes up to a 75. We get plus 2 more, and now he's got 96 power, 89 accuracy, so way better than he was last year. Now we got one for the new signing, James Sheldon. I'm going to go pass protector. Just make him better overall to help out Faulkner. And for James Allen, I'm going to go run stopper, keep him here as a scheme fit for now, but eventually I'm going to go back to upgrading power moves. So between our 2 quarterbacks, it looked like Casper got a lot more snaps and a lot more attempts as the backup. He wasn't very good. 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 83.4 rating, but it looks like Faulkner was really good when he was in there. 3 of 14, 26 for 35, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 120.4 rating, YPA 9. Those are all good signs. The sack numbers are pretty high, though. That is a concern. We'll see about that. That was 11 sacks in 3 games across 2 different quarterbacks. The run game was not doing anything, as we saw in the rankings. We only had 1 rushing touchdown for Newsome. Receiving-wise, Wheatley had a monster preseason. That is a good sign for the rookie. He is supposed to be the Aiyuk replacement after all. That's good, but I bet the blocking. Who gave up all these sacks? 2 by Aldridge and Gilliard, 1 from Phillips, and 1 from Sheldon. How do we only allow 6, but we had 11 between our 2 quarterbacks? How's that even possible? I don't know. But sack-wise, 2 for Allen, 1 for Franklin, 1 for Chambers. So 4 over 3 games, not awful, but would like it to be... Actually, that is not good. I would like it to be way higher. 2 picks for Warner, 1 for Terrence Ford, 1 for Micah Betts. So, 3 deflections as well. That's pretty high for 3 games. And Stevens missed a field goal. And I asked last episode, should I start James McCann, who is the rookie safety, over Gordon Harrison at free safety? And I am going to do that here in at least the first couple of weeks to see how our defense plays. He was starting for the last 2 preseason games, so, I mean, the defense played well, so that's a good sign. But we opened the year against the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, so we'll see about that. But we're going to set our season goal. We had 3 wins last year. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping for like around 7. That's what I would like. I don't want to go for 4 again, so 7 it is. Opening day keys against the Ravens. Key to victory is, right now it's got to be our defense. We got to lock down Lamar and got to see what the offense can get us. And that's going to start with being better in the pass this year, for sure. That was the whole goal of drafting Micah Betts, was to improve there. So that's the goal here. And also drafting James McCann. Now for the game plan elite QB scenario, where does the game plan start for a player like him? I said limiting his passing. That's the same thing I'm going to choose here. When the entire defense gets +3 man in zone coverage, that'll be good. We need that. Upgrade point for Sean Spriggs. Going to go man-to-man. Looking for a pretty good year for him to help out the secondary this year. He get a lot more playing time than he did in his rookie years. So, with 85 man coverage with a temporary boost, hopefully he can contribute. Now we got one for the rookie Wheatley. Gonna go slot to help him out in his new role in the offense. Played well in the preseason here in this role, so hoping for more of the same. And lastly, the hidden running back Joe Stockton. Gonna go elusive for him. Hopefully he can be a really nice backup for Newsome here in a couple of seasons. But here we go. The year is about to begin against Baltimore. Week 1 starts now. We've already got our first win. Can you believe it? We not only outgained our opponent, but we beat them. We are 1-0. Yes. Both quarterbacks played very well. We held Jackson to below 250, but not below 200. So we'll get part of the goal, but not all of it. But Faulkner played a really clean game, 23 for 31, 7.5 YPA. Got sacked once, but we did not get to Lamar at all. Why did Chisholm get 12 carries? Newsome only had, or they pretty much had the same carries, same result. But why did Chisholm get so many carries? I don't want that to be the case. I want Newsome to be the primary guy. Looks like Johnson caught a touchdown. Wheatley, 61 to score in his first game. Awesome. Love seeing that. Sack was allowed by Cam Baker, who allowed only 1 last year. No sacks for us, 1 for Aaron Ross for Baltimore. No turnovers in this game. And we only had 2 tackles for loss by Leon Curtis for both. And then, no, we had actually 4 total. 1 for Covington, 1 for Allen as well. And both kickers were perfect. That already would have been one of our highest scoring games of all last season. Now coming out of the game, Hufanga says it's a win is a win. We're so disappointed because our performance wasn't as what we wanted in terms of our game plan, but it's all part of a process. We get 1,000 XP for the entire team. And coming out of this game, getting this win must feel nice. Another press conference for us. Another 1,000 XP for the whole team. We got upgrade points for the whole team, it seems like. My God. So many players need one. We'll go through all the top main players that we're trying to focus on here. Man-to-man for Kilroy. I think after this one I'll start going more zone, but +1 man coverage. He's pretty damn good. I'm going to go power back for Newsome. Get some more power behind these legs. Nice strength and break tackle. Gonna work on the accuracies for Faulkner, make him a better just passing quarterback in general. And we got one for James McCann. He's playing at free safety right now, so I'm gonna choose zone, because that is the archetype for our free safeties here in this scheme. Now we're facing an X-Factor tight end, Eric Saxton, now over in Seattle. I just want to take a look at this guy because I don't think I've seen him before. Eric Saxton, in his 6th season, X-Factor tight end. He's been in Seattle this whole time. Wow, he had a couple of 1,200-yard seasons. This guy's a maniac. What? We gotta lock him down. What the heck? Oh, he suffered a close loss against the Seahawks. Now, they outgained us by a lot, but we could have won this game. Close one, but we lose it. Faulkner, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, but only 165 passing yards. While Butler threw for 280 and threw 2 picks. How does this guy keep throwing picks against us and we keep losing to him? It's really annoying. 2.4 on the ground for Newsom. What is with this ground game? Like, come on. We have a good offensive line. We should be way better than this. He also fumbled the ball, too. And Saxton had 106. Jesus. JSN, 89 and 2 scores. Waitley has 3 touchdowns in his first 2 weeks. That's really good. Blocking wise, sacks allowed by Aldridge Baker and James Sheldon. And on defense, we had a sack for Covington. Nobody else got one. And a pick for Hufanga and for Gordon Harrison, who's backing up McCann right now. And our kicker was perfect. Nice. First upgrade point for Micah Betts. And for him, I think it makes sense to go man coverage until he is at like a 84-85 man coverage point. But plus 3 there, I mean, we're already almost there. Jesus, he's now up to an 84 man coverage player. Nice. We lose our 2nd straight against the Bengals, 24-14. And this is kind of harkening back to last year. We outgained the opponent, but we don't score enough to win the game. No turnovers for us, and Faulkner had a pretty good day. 28 for 42, 2 touchdowns, 272 through the air, but I guess Burrow played a cleaner game somehow. Lipton scores twice on the ground. Newsom, 4.0 per carry. That's much better. Receiving-wise, 95 for George Ford, 89 for Brennan. Weeks hauls in a touchdown, and Wheatley only had 3 grabs for 24 yards in this one. And we had 1 sack from Shaquille Franklin. Still waiting for a sack from Ezekiel Chambers this season. But Stevens was perfect. Going into a game on Thursday night against the Rams. Talking about a short week with Victor Weeks. And through 3 games, it's time for a QB1 check-in. And I think that Faulkner's played well. I think the rest of the team's got to step up now. I think he's had 2 really solid games. And 1 game that wasn't that bad, really. He threw no picks in the 1 game where he had a poor rating. So I think he's playing good football. I think the team needs to just, play a little bit better as a team. And then we're there. Another point for Wheatley. I'm going to go slot again. Now he's up to a 76 overall. Nice upgrades here. Through 4 weeks, the Niners are 2-2. Nice. 3.1 here against the Rams. Outgain them as well. That's more like it. So I think we're gonna be in store for probably a sort of back and forth year, kind of like in week 1, or not week 1, year 1 with this team. But Faulkner had his best game so far. Really good rating, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Clean game. Blair Murphy played pretty well as well, but we got the win. Newsom, 2.9 per carry. He hasn't really shown up so far this year. Looks like Kerry Brennan and George Ford at 70 plus each. Victor Weeks, 51. Whitley, another touch on his 4th on the season. So, thankfully, he's getting heavily involved and barely got involved here in this game, too. On defense, we had a sack and a half for James Allen, Shaquille Franklin, and 1 for Delvin Matthews, who's not usually a power rusher or pass rusher at all. But good job there, attacking the offensive line, and Stevens is having a good start to his year. Because we won, who said short weeks had to be tough, says Victor Weeks. 2,500 XP for the entire offense. Things are looking up for us. So already way more XP this year than last year. At least to this point. Ooh, and plus 10 morale. That's great. Now coming out of QB1 check-in, as Faulkner says, he's proud of how he came out and got the job done. Everybody chipped in, and like I said, play as a team. You help Faulkner out, you win the game. Even more XP for this entire team. Great. Upgrade point for Chambers. What could help him out? 85 strength, 86 speed. Power moves at 78. Finesse at 89. Let's go finesse. Get that up to like a 90 or so. His morale is down for some reason, but it's got to go up. Need some sacks here, Chambers. And I got one for Dalvin Covington, and for him, I'm going to go speed as well. He is a speed rusher. What he's by far the best at. Gonna go power rusher for James Allen this time around. Nice. Gonna go elusive for Newsome. But gotta see more from him this year, because so far through 4 weeks, 3.1 per carry. That's not gonna cut it. I'm trying to help the guy out. Let's get some power with Baker here. And for Gilliard, let's go power. It's hard to tell what the issue is on this offensive line, so I'm just trying to get some power behind these guys because maybe that is what's causing the lack of running. We have points for a lot of players, man. I'm going to go power for Sheldon here. Maybe he's just not as good of a run blocker as Aldridge is. Although the ratings are pretty good, at least for the finesse. We're not done yet. Upgrade point for Aldridge. His run block stuff is also pretty good, but the power is better for Sheldon, so he's actually just not as good as Sheldon is. At least in terms of the ratings. We're almost done. Got one more for Faulkner. Still a lot of other upgrades, but I'm going to skip most of them. We'll do one more, and it's going to be for Wheatley probably. I got a lot more to go through, but I'll cut it short after Wheatley. For him, I'm going to go playmaker this time. Make him better once he has the ball in his hands. We end up dropping our next 2 games against the Browns and Seahawks, both on the road. Now we've lost both games against the Seahawks by 1 score each. Fun. But against the Browns, they just kind of clobbered us. Their defense really held us in check. And Faulkner had by far his worst game of the year, 99 passing yards. What in hell happened? 9 for 16 passing. I'm sorry, there's no way. There's no way. Newsome 3.9 on the ground. And, I mean, dude, the top 4 receivers were all theirs. Jesus Christ. On defense, no sacks. We allowed 2 to Parker and Highsmith. We threw a pick to Ellington. And Stevens was perfect. And we just can't seem to beat Seattle, man. We can't seem to stop Cameron Butler, dude. Despite Faulkner constantly outplaying him. That's really bothersome. Just by far the better quarterback, and we still somehow lose the game because our defense still is not where it needs to be. 4.1 and a touchdown for Walker. Looks like Faulkner ran a lot more in this game than usual. Butler did too. Both quarterbacks scored 3 total times. Victor Weeks had a monster performance. A buck 50 and 1 touchdown. Wheatley 51 in another score. But we lost. Stat given up by James Sheldon. And no sacks for the 2nd straight week. That's concerning. Got a weekly award for Faulkner. His first one, really our first one all year long for his 3 touchdown performance when he had only 5 incompletions and we lost the game. Come on, man. We have one more game on this 3-game road stretch. We've got to win this one and come out of it 3-4. We're playing the 3-3 Vikings with Justin Jefferson. Our rankings aren't looking too good at this point, so there's a reason why we're 2-4. Listen, one more game and see where we're at through 7 weeks. And there it is. We lose all 3 road games after a 3-game road or a 3-game homestand. And once again, our defense just couldn't get stops. Faulkner had another good day. I mean, he's having a really good year here in year 2. But Ramon Payton just always has my number. Every game against this guy, he wins. Newsome 2 putting into the ground. Come on, the ground game is awful. And JJ tore us apart through the air, man. I feel like I might have to switch up at least 2 is in the slot because that seems to be where some players are beating us. Ford and Brennan caught touchdowns, but I just haven't seen a big game from Wheatley really yet with like a massive yardage game. Still waiting for that, but we're still allowing a lot of sacks, so we're not getting any. What is that, 3 straight games, no sacks? All of them losses? At least Kilroy picked off Hayden, but come on, man. We're 2-5. We've only had 1 loss by more than 7 points, too. 3 straight 1-score losses. Before that, only 1 loss that was more than that. So, we could be 5-2 right now, or even 6-1, but we're not. We got a weekly award for this performance. Hufanga, I guess, had a forced fumble and a recovery as well. But, again, doesn't seem to have mattered that much. I just used all of our staff points to complete the extra 3 focus player spots. So, we can add 3 more to weekly strategy. And I'm going to attach probably Newsome and a couple other players. So, I guess against the Colts, I do want to thin the inside run. And I want to throw it deep. Because that seems to be where Faulkner's playing pretty well. But for the extra spots, yeah, we'll train Newsome. And honestly, is there like training your third running back? Is it really a smart idea when you could focus on somebody else, make them way better of a contributor? I think I would rather do somebody like Kilroy, train him, make him one of the top corners in the game, keep Ward there, and I think we have a solid group here. So we're 2-5 in week 8. We're facing the Colts this week, who are also 2-5, but we have the 23rd ranked offense, still not where it needs to be, but I don't think it's Faulkner's fault. I think he's having a really good year. I think it's the ground game, and maybe the receivers just aren't as good as they really are. I mean, the ratings aren't really there, so that does make sense. The defense is doing better than last year, way better than last year, but they're still allowing a lot of yards per game. Maybe it's worth seeing what Harrison can do for us as the free safety the rest of the way. I don't think it's really a bad idea to bench McCann or just give him a few less snaps, but the defense right now is bad in yardage and points. Only 6 sacks, which is bottom 3 in the league right now. How come Covington and Chambers have both just regressed from last year, man? I brought in Covington because he had 3 straight years with at least 8.5 or more sacks. Chambers, the last years, has done that. And then they have both done nothing so far this year. I don't get it, really. Now, these are all the guys that we have right now up for contracts. Aldridge still does not really have much interest in coming back. Carter does, I do want to bring him back. Delvin Matthews wants to hit the open market, and he wants a 5-year deal, but I don't even know if it's easy for us to tell if he's worth his contract. Like, how do you know if he's played well? He doesn't have any tackles for loss. He has plenty of tackles, but the tackles for loss aren't really there. So how do you know? Like, he's supposed to be a run stopper, but I'm not really sure he's really stopping the run. For Aldridge, he has been the backup right tackle and has given up 1 sack this year compared to 5 last year where he played for the majority of this season. We'll see about that. Harrison has the 1 pick this year. Kerry Brennan's available. A lot of guys are here. A lot of guys that have starting-esque roles or near starting roles, but maybe they're on the chopping block. Maybe it's time to trade somebody away. I don't even know. Is it worth making a trade right now? Would that improve our team? Probably not. Well, Sheldon's hurt this week, so Aldridge is going to start this game. Why is Weeks the number 1? Did they really mess up my depth chart when I wasn't looking? You can't be serious, man. I have that setting off, and they're still messing it up. That's crazy. I guess we're going to miss Curry this week as well. He's hurt in practice. That's great. But I am going to start Harrison over McCann, but he'll still get playing time behind Hufanga and Harrison at both safety spots. Now for the rest of the defense, I think we'll just let them ride this out, see what happens. There's a specialist. Is Wheatley still his top slot guy? Yes, he is. But Henson's played well. He played well last year in that role, so he could fit in there too. So through 7 games, let's take a look at our stats. And Faulkner is playing way better than last year, man. 12 touchdowns, 2 picks, 1,500 yards. The yardage per game is pretty low, but the rating is fantastic. Like, he is not the issue. He is playing way better than his rookie season. I mean, yeah, he's really only had 1 bad game all year long through 7 games. So we got to put the right pieces around him to really figure out how to make this team succeed, because we should be succeeding with him. And the ground game was part of that. Newsome is averaging 3.1 per carry still, 48.6 per game. How is the run game this bad? Maybe we do got to start Alderton to see if he's better than Sheldon in the run game, because, I mean, right now, it seems like holes aren't really opening up. And I'm also considering just trading Chisholm away, because he's not like he's doing a whole lot off the bench, and we could be giving a lot more carries to Joe Stockton, who's the hidden dev guy. But receiving wise, I feel like they benched they put Weekly below Brennan and Weeks after like the first couple of weeks, and I just never checked it because he played well in that first game, but has kind of dropped off the map since. But I mean, it's a pretty balanced across the top 3 receivers and our top tight end. But someone's got to start making a name for themselves here. And in terms of blocking, Baker's already allowed 3 times as many sacks as last year. Sheldon 3, Gilliard 2, Aldridge 1, Carter 1. This is not a bad offensive line pass protection-wise, but ground game hasn't seen much help, and this pass rush has regressed even further somehow, man. How? No sacks for Chambers all year long. 1.5 for Allen, 1 for Covington. Where is it? What happened, man? I can never pinpoint what the issue is. We also only had 3 picks. How is that possible? We forced 4 turnovers through 7 weeks. I thought Stevens missed a field goal week 1. I guess not. He's been perfect so far this season. Yeah, I'm not gonna make any trades here. I think I'm good, but we're gonna miss a couple of players here in this week. So if you lose this, we're gonna be 2-6 and on track for another top 5 pick, maybe a first overall pick. According to the mock drafts, as of right now, we have a top 6 pick. We just won 2 out of our last 3 out of week 8, including a blockbuster win against the 6-2 Steelers. We lost against the Cards, who were 6-1 going in, by 1 score. How many losses are we going to have by a single score, man? It's driving me nuts. You beat the Colts, though. Very, very close game in terms of yardage and scoring, but we come out on top. Faulkner plays well once again, really taking care of the football. We picked off Richardson once, and there were no sacks on Faulkner. And Newsome had a decent day, 74 yards, 1 touchdown, better than he was playing. Weeks, 86 yards, Wheatley 48 and a touchdown, 2 scores for Josh Downs. And we had 1 sack for Ezekiel Chambers. He's finally showed up halfway through the season. Gordon Harrison's got a pick in his first starts of the season. Tyler Stevens has yet to miss. And we lost a close win against the Cards, and we outgained them by 110 yards and lost. And I think it's maybe because we turned the ball over twice. Faulkner threw a pick despite having a pretty good day, 24 for 30. Both quarterbacks got sacked plenty of times. Mahomes is the quarterback now in Arizona. I forgot about that. Newsome had a good day and we still lost. Like, what will it take? He fumbled the ball. But Jesus, man. 98 for Weeks. 72 for Brennan. Pretty good day for these receivers. Another touchdown for Wheatley. Has got a lot of those in the slot this season. And Chambers is picking up some steam. That is 2.5 sacks in 2 games. McCann and Franklin had the other, and Allen had the other half sacks. Pick for George Henson for Arizona, and Stevens missed his first field goal, but not sure it mattered. Now we're coming off our 4th win of the year, and it was a really nice win against the Steelers. We outgained them, outscored them by a lot. Our first real controlled win. And it was when Favre did not play that well. Touchdown, 1 pick, 236. Gary May was all right. Neither quarterback had a great day, but Newsome is picking things up. 3.9 here on the ground, 1 touchdown. Chisholm and Callahan scored. I've seen Callahan have a couple of touchdowns this year on the ground. Wheatley leads us with yardage and in yardage with 64. I mean, this is just really good, spread the ball around. 4 different guys, the guys that we know we're going to get the ball, and they all had 50-plus yards. Weeks scores again. And on defense, we had another sack and a half, but this time it's for James Allen and Shaquille Franklin. He's already got more sacks than he had all last year. At least somebody is stepping up when they were not as good last year. And Steven's back on track. Out of this win, we are 4-6, and now we are facing the 0-9 Eric Baldwin-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Baldwin was taken in that same draft that we took Antonio Fuller. And they're a good passing offense, but aside from that, they are bad across the board. We cannot lose this game. We absolutely cannot, even though our defensive ranks aren't very high. The offense is climbing, and so is our defensive yards per game. So we got to beat this team. They suck. Prospects, though, I am definitely considering going quarterback, or not a quarterback, receiver again in the first one. We do have 2 first-round picks, I believe, so I'm definitely open to that idea because there are plenty of first-round options, and if you can do it, you can move on from Weeks or Brennan and bring another young player to add to your team that hopefully has hidden dev and can play alongside Faulkner and Wheatley. So for our focus players, I think it's probably worth using it on 2 of the receivers and one of these pass rushers. There is Joey Samuels, but if I want to go for the left and maybe power rusher, why not use it on this guy who's, top 5 projection? Because he looks like he's pretty freaking good. So Ronnie, actually, I mean, he's going to go first overall probably. There are also 3 quarterbacks here in the top 5. But I'm also thinking about linebacker because I'm pretty sure that Warner is either going to retire or he's going to go way down this year. So I'm definitely open to linebacker. So I will scout Leon Webb because if he's there and we have a high draft pick, I mean, that could be the immediate replacement for Warner. And then we can use the other 2 on the receivers. I'll use it on the top 2. So Derek Coleman and then Enrique Sheldon. Now, moment of truth. We're going to find out Wheatley's depth chart here in a second. I think we already saw it. I think I revealed it by accident when I looked at our lineup. But we're going to go slot again. He is now up to a 74 slot archetype. He is a star def player, but that's fine. I think he is having a really solid year to this point. I mean, 7 touchdowns, 400-plus yards. Get him a bit more involved, and he might win Rookie of the Year, perhaps. Maybe. We just lost against the Buccaneers and gave them their first win. You can't be serious, man. They were 0-9. Come on. We can't be losing a game. We lost by 3. How did we lose in overtime? Come on. How many games are we going to have like this? This defense has got to get better. This is embarrassing. Come on. Faulkner had a fantastic game and we lost. So did Newsome. 4.6 and you lose the game. Wheatley had his best game of the season. 155, 2 touchdowns. I was waiting for a game like this. Hairston caught a 91-yard touchdown. What is this bullcrap? What happened to our secondary? Where's Kilroy? Where's Betts? Where's Cameron Baker? Allowed so many sacks this season. We got no sacks on Baldwin. Kilroy picked off Baldwin once. But my God, you cannot lose games like this, man. Now we're 4-7. Embarrassing. Got a weekly award for Faulkner again, but once again it comes in a loss. Faulkner had 6 touchdowns this week. We're in the Week 12 bye week, bottom of our division. We are going to go on a team bonding retreat and get some morale. Upgrade point for Faulkner for him. And he's having a really good year. The play action might need to get better though. So let's try and improve that. If we can. I don't see it as one of the top things on here. I'll just do an improviser, I guess, instead. For those prospects, by the way, Leon Webb is confirmed a top 5 talent. So we have 2 first-round picks. If he's there, I would not be opposed to drafting him. Grade 2 elite speed. With acceleration, agility is there. That's really good. A, man coverage and zone coverage. A, awareness. B, play rec, catching, finesse moves, hit power, power moves. A, power moves. B, pursuit. B, stamina. B, tackle. This guy's the complete package. And of course, it decided not to work for the second receiver, so I don't get how the game is this bad, but Derek Cohen's a round 1 talent confirmed with A, catching, C, deep route, C, release. He's a playmaker archetype, so a different archetype than Wheatley is. He's got deep threat, so it's always nice to get different archetypes into the offense. He's a pretty solid athlete, not anything special. He won't really blow you out of the water. He's not very fast, but he is very, very well-rounded, despite the catch and traffic being pretty low. Everything else is pretty damn solid. And for Sheldon, still at 95%, I feel like he's probably better than Derek Coleman. He's got better speed, better overall athletic ratings. The route running's not as good in terms of medium, but everything else is really good. Like this guy, I think he's better. We drop our next 2 games out of the bye week against 2 NFC South opponents by a total score of 4 points. What is it with this team when losing 1-score games? That's 3 in a row now. That's been every loss except for one still against the Bengals. Every other one has been either 7 points or lower. Jesus Christ, man. Lose by 3 against the Saints despite outgaining them. How many times do we have to see this? This is infuriating. Once again, Faulkner outplays their quarterback and we don't win the game. I mean, Newsome, 2.2 per carry. Like, what is it with this team? I don't get it. At least Wheatley played well, but we allowed 2 sacks again and got none. The pass rush is just way too inconsistent for me. Wow. 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 Look at this. We were up 28-6. Entering the fourth quarter, at least some point in the fourth quarter, we allowed them to score 23 points to win by 1. How did we lose this game? It's like we're trying to lose. Like we're trying to get a top pick. Look at how well we played against Robinson and we still lost the game. 2.4 for Newsome. Do we need a different running back? Because holy crap, this is embarrassing. This run game is the worst in the freaking league. It kind of has to be. We finally got a pass rush, but once again, we still lost the game. And pretty much count the year over now as we are 4-9, having lost 3 in a row. Facing the 7-6 Rams today, we are dead last in our division by far. We're going to finish last there too. And this just sucks. We could have won so many of these games, but we're not going to, and we haven't because I'm not really sure. The running game plus the defense. That's got to be it. It's got to be it. I just don't know what it will take to improve this passing game in terms of the pass defense. Like, do I got to get somebody in besides Leon Curtis? I hope not. He's been here for only 1.5 seasons. Mark Colbert could be seen, or Colbert. I keep calling him Colbert. I don't know what to call him. I'll just call him Colbert going forward, but got to have a much bigger role next season with Warner probably retiring or just being way worse. It's time to decide on some contracts. I don't think Delvin Matthews has really proven that he's worth it. Straight up, I mean, the tackles, he's got less tackles this year than last year with 4 games left. But, I mean, dude, there's no way for me to know if he's playing well or not, so I'm just going to let him walk. Until I get a bona fide good player in there, I'll just keep filling that hole until we have somebody that makes an impact. I do want to bring back Brody Carter on more than a 2-year deal. I was thinking more like 5 years. Why not? He's really good. And he is back. Now for Aldridge, let's take a look at his stats at this point in the season. He's allowed 1 sack. He has played a lot less downs, so it's hard to know. He doesn't want to come back. So let's just see about what is the other guy done. Hold on. So blocking-wise, Baker's allowed the most with 5 sacks. Sheldon's only given up 4, and he's played most of the season. So I think he's fine at right tackle, honestly, in terms of the pass protection. I think we can safely let Aldridge walk at this point. He's a good player. He just does not want to play for us. So we're going to let him hit the market too, just like Delvin Matthews. For Harrison, I'm not sure, but his cap hit's not that much. I think a $5 mil cap hit or whatever is not that bad for a guy that can fit in a couple different roles across the secondary. He wants to be here. So I'm down for 2 years on maybe slightly less than what he wants. He wants a bit more time. Okay, Brennan's up. And again, I'm still thinking about receiver in the draft for sure. And he has had... I mean, he's going to have a better finish to his year than last year. He'll end up having probably his best year here with us. So good for him. I might wait until the end of the year for him, just to see what he ends up with. Now, Terrence Ford, who we acquired via trade, does not want to return. We have plenty of young corners on the team. He doesn't really have much re-sign interest. Has he shown really that much? Not necessarily. I think we'll let him go. Why not? I don't think he's necessarily a key piece. Clay Henson wants a little bit of money, but he's the 4th receiver, and he has showed up when he's gotten playing time, especially last year. I'm intrigued to bring him back, and he is back on a 2-year contract. And now, any other ones? We're going to wait on Brennan, as we said. Warmock, I think I'll let him go. He doesn't have much interest in, I think. Probably thinking about McCann being the starter over Harrison the rest of the way. Maybe after this season. Jamal Lindsay, despite being a low overall, is only 24 years old. We drafted him. And I think he's a solid backup on a pretty small cap hit. So I will gladly offer him this. He wants a bit higher salary. Now for Clay Farr, he hasn't played much this year, but he wants a $3 million cap hit, and I mean, nothing to speak of this year. How many downs has he played? Only 6. So I will re-sign him, but I'm going to move him to left tackle like right now so he can get some playing time. Now, Jeff Hamner was supposed to be a solid depth signing, but I haven't seen his name pop up at all this season. He said 2 tackles for loss, no sacks. 5 total tackles. Seems like these guys aren't getting much playing time behind the starters on this defensive line. So I'm just going to let him walk. Fairly wants a good amount of money to be the backup tight end. I think I'll just let him go. And for Warner, he wants $50 million. I'm going to wait and see what he regresses to first, because I don't want to re-sign him if he's going to go down to like an 80 overall, probably. And we got options for Kilroy and Gilliard once the year is over. Yeah, so Clay Farr. I will... Actually, I'll keep him at right tackle. I'll move Aldridge to left tackle, I think. And that makes more sense. Left tackle, there you go. And we are going to make sure he's not over Gilliard. We just got bludgeoned by the Rams. We give up over 500 offensive yards. How do we fix this defense? How? How do you fix it? Blair Murphy, 405 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Ford had one of his worst games all year long, despite 270 passing yards. Man, that is... I mean, Jesus Christ. The secondary got absolutely ravaged in this game. At least Wheatley played well, but no sacks. How is this still a problem? We're going to end the year against the Cardinals, then Eagles, then Panthers, but we're 4-10, man. We're 4-10. I don't know what to say about this team any longer. It felt like, you know, slow progression, slow growth. We were getting somewhere, but now we're 4-10. If we don't win all 3 of these games, we're going to miss out on our goal for 7 wins. I don't care about our draft spot right now. I just want to get a couple wins under our belt to end this year strong. But we're playing Patrick Mahomes and the 10-4 Cardinals. It was a close game last time. Playing spoiler. It'd be nice to beat them. We get a big boost. We get that 10k XP boost. Going to negotiate again with Harrison. He wanted more time, so I'll just offer the same contract. He's close. And for Jamal Lindsay, if I increase the salary by 1 tick, he accepts. And for Fred Warner, I think I am just going to let him go. I think I don't want to pay that much for somebody who's going to regress by a lot. He's going to be 35. So I made my mind about him now after seeing the defense be so bad. Will this upgrade help us out this week? I really hope so. Christopher Parker, fan demand upgrade. I never replaced the guy in the slot, so I'm going to take Parker out of there. And I want to see what Micah Betts can do there instead. And we lost. Despite, I mean, how many close games are we going to have that we lose? It's unbearable, man. What is it with this team? Like, Mahomes was not even good in this game. Once again, Faulkner plays better. Not that much better, but we still lose. He threw 2 picks, but come on, man. How come Stockton got 17 carries? Where's Newsom? Did he get hurt? I really hope not, man. That would suck. Wheatley had his second 100-plus yard game. I mean, this got a touchdown, but it's only his second game this year where he's done that. Blocking-wise, 2 more allowed by Baker. And Baker has taken a complete step back from last year. A sack for Chambers and for Allen, but Chambers showed up for 2 weeks and that was it, man. What the heck? We lost 5 straight, and now we don't get the boost. Great. Accept the offer, Harrison. He wants to hit the open market now. You know what? Good riddance to you. Good luck. Upgrade point for Wheatley. Gonna go deep threat this time around. Ooh, nice upgrades right there. Nice release. We break the streak and end the year winning both of our last 2 games. That, at least, is a good sign, but we are slowly getting better year by year, but it's taken some time. We outgained them by a lot, outscored them by a lot. This is maybe our most dominant win of the season besides the one against the Steelers, and Faulkner has been so impressive. He's been so good. We actually won a game this time where he played well. Newsom 2.5, Chisholm 4.0. Why? Receiving-wise, Victor Weeks and George Ford played well. Newsom caught a touchdown, but Wheatley only had 1 grab for 28 yards. Blocking-wise, no sacks allowed. We got 2 sacks from Franklin and James Allen. No INTs forced, but Stevens was perfect. And against the Panthers, outgained them, came back in the 4th quarter, put up 2 touchdowns to win. Another just fantastic day for Faulkner. Really proud of him, man. He has finished the year with an incredible stat line. Newsom hasn't, but Wheatley finishes the year strong. 121 touchdown. 2 scores for Marco Shooter, who always plays well against us. Kerry Brennan scores. Defense got no sacks. We allowed 2 to Brian Burns. Did not pick off the quarterback, but they missed a field goal, and Stevens finishes the year with another really good year. So we end up going 6-11 this year, and there was a lot to like. I thought one, Faulkner was the just straight up highlight of the season, man. That dude played lights out all year long, gave us a chance to win in pretty much every game, and it was the rest of the team that just let him down. I mean, look at these stats right here. The defense and the secondary alone was the reason why we lost those games, plus the run game. If we're gonna win games next year, we got to do better on the ground, and we got to do better against the pass, because those are the 2 biggest areas that lost us these 11 games. But I'm pretty sure that we lost all of our division games this season. Let's go take a look. These are all the good teams, the Seahawks, Rams, and whoever else. Cardinals all made the playoffs. We missed out. Our division was very good this year. But scrolling down here, we're going to have a top 5 pick. We're going to have pick number 5 behind the Bears, Ravens, Texans, and Buccaneers. And we, in our division, we're 1-5. We won 1 game against our division. I think it was against the Rams. Upgrade point to end the year for Allen. Going to go power rusher again. Now he's up to 85 overall, and he does get a new ability slot, I think, with this too. Yes, he does. We'll check his stats here soon. End of year upgrade for Ja Phillips. Going to go agile for him. The ground game was better towards the latter half of the season, but not consistent enough. What will it take to get Newsome where he needs to be to get 4 yards a carry every game or in most of the games? I don't know. Gonna go agile for James Sheldon, who played well after kind of a slow start. And Micah Betts gonna go man-to-man to end his year, but not a lot of upgrade points for him. He only had 3 total all year long. But that's because he's normal dev. But 88-man coverage to end the year, I mean, that's about where I wanted it to be. Maybe even lower than that. And maybe more zone coverage, but the secondary has got to be better next year, right? Just based off of this progression. I don't know, man. Joe Stockton ends up being a... Well, he's still hidden dev. We'll check his thing in here in a second after I do the upgrade. He's probably only a star dev player. But if he's superstar, might have some competition here at running back. Let's take a look. He is superstar development. Whoa. Okay. All right, Joe. I think he might be the new number 2 behind Newsome, and might trade away Chisholm now. So Faulkner's year ends like this. Over 4,000 yards, more than last year. 31 touchdowns, more than last year. 7 picks, less than last year. Everything was better compared to his rookie season. This was a great season for him. A great year where he has proven that he can be the franchise quarterback. Straight up. I mean, yards up, touchdowns up, INTs down, rating up, longest pass up, sacks down, completions, attempts, percentage, YPA, yards per game up. How can you ask for more? He also ran the ball better too somehow. Great. On the ground, Newsome ends up with 3.4 on the ground. This was a huge debacle all year long. Stockton 3.4 on his carries, but only got 17 of them. Now Chisholm had 3.5, so I'm not sure that, regardless of who you have back there, I'm not sure it's going to improve. So maybe we get a better run blocking left guard in here in place of Cam Baker. Maybe we just compare what the options are. I'm not sure how to fix the run game. Now, receiving wise, Wheatley had a monster rookie season, over 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns. If he's not accidentally made the third receiver during those, 4 to 5 weeks in the first half of the year because the game's bad, then he probably has a lot more yards and touchdowns. But he ended this year on a really high note. I was very impressed by him. We have the new number 1 for us, guys, and it's him. It's Wheatley. Now, Victor Weeks, I think, has proven that he can be the number 2 with just below 900 yards. Kerry Brennan, played well, but I think I would rather look towards the draft. He is 28 years old, going to be 29 on his new deal. So I'm going to end up probably withdrawing the offer for him because George Ford outplayed him. He had more yards, less touchdowns, but way more receptions. I mean, Ford had the most, I think, out of anybody. Yeah, he did. But touchdowns, Wheatley killed it in the slot. So fantastic job by him. Blocking wise, Baker and Sheldon both allow 6 sacks, but the offensive line was fantastic this year, at least for pass protection. Now for the run game, a lot to think about as we have discussed. Tackle wise, Fred Warner not nearly as good as the past couple of seasons. And sack wise, a lot to be desired from a lot of players, but Franklin is back to what he was doing since before we signed him. 11 tackles for loss, 8 sacks. Compared to last year, an absolutely huge difference. I mean, it is a massive difference. And really, the defense against the run game was really good this year. This was his best year since his best year before this, back in 2028. So, we're going to keep Franklin around for sure. And for James Allen, he had a pretty comparable year to last year, I think. I think he had less sacks. No, he had more sacks. So he's pretty much good for around 5 sacks a year and a lot of tackles for loss. So impressed by him. He's proven his worth. But the rest of the defensive line, Chambers and Covington, were complete letdowns all year long. I mean, I thought I for sure had some go-getters. But Chambers is going into his 5th-year option. I'm not going to re-sign this guy if he can't prove himself here in year 5. And for Covington, it's like, I just can't make the right free agent signings at this point. Like, everything I do just turns to absolute shit because he had 2 sacks. 9.5 last year. 11 before that. 8 before that. 6.5 before that. His lowest year since the first year where he actually got playing time. And he had 2 all year long. And he played a lot of downs. He played the most of his career. Come on, man. What will it take to make this defense where it needs to be? I don't know. But you got to figure it out. We only had 5 INTs all year long. That is terrible. 1 corner got picks. Nobody else did. You told me Micah Betts got no INTs? That's hard to believe. 12 deflections for Warner, 8 for Kilroy, 8 for Hufanga, 6 for McCann. Who is the problem here? I don't know. I really, really don't. We had 6 total turnovers forced. We had that many halfway through our season. So, great. Stevens had a near perfect year. He was fantastic. In terms of the entire league, the Buccaneers, who got their first win against us in Week 11, had the most passing yards behind Baldwin. Touchdowns, Murphy led that. Baldwin was right. How are they so bad? And yet, they had this guy playing this well. I don't get it. But, looks like Joel Bradley played well. Where is Fuller? 30 touchdowns, 2 INTs. He's still going maniacal. Jesus. INTs, top guy was Bradley, followed by Dwyer and then Enrique Buckhalter. Rating-wise, top guy was Antonio Fuller, as it almost always is every single year. Then Burrow, Murphy, Young, Mahomes, Herbert. Faulkner actually wasn't that high on this list, but he was still having a good year. Rushing-wise, Keon Johnson had the most for the Jaguars. 91 overall running back. I mean, by far his best year. Wow. And a really huge uptick in production. He killed the entire league. That's impressive. Touchdowns was led by Kenneth Walker, but Sean Buckner now, in his first year as the starter, it looks like, and he was a beast. 1,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, 55 broken tackles. So he's proven to be way better than Newsom is. So that was a mistake on my part. Receiving wise, Lamb at the top, over on Monroe St. Brown for the first time in 3 seasons. But it looks like he was second in touchdowns behind Downs, but Wheatley was number 3. He's got to win Rookie of the Year, right? Surely. Surely he's got to. Blocking-wise, most sacks allowed by Rashawn Slater, Antoine Creamer, and Chris Davenport. Nobody near towards the top for our list, so I think we're good on our offensive line, at least on the tackles. For sacks, Micah Parsons was by far the best. Then it was Chase Young and Hutchinson. Tackles for loss, Jeff Murphy. Tackles was DeMarco Bolden, I think, for the 2nd straight year. And INTs, you had a lot of guys with 4. Trent McDuffie, Akeem Burrell, Zaven Collins, Barber, and Asante Samuel. Now, we used to have Akeem Burrell, I'm pretty sure, and then I gave the guy away because we drafted George Harrison. Was that a mistake? Maybe so. In terms of field goal percentage, looks like the best kicker overall was probably either... Pat Bowles was perfect. Are you serious? He only had 3 field goals, 17 extra points. What were the Raiders doing? They barely kicked the ball. I think there were plenty of guys that went perfect, but a lot of guys didn't take that many kicks. But here's the playoff bracket. The Cardinals are the 1, with Mahomes as their quarterback. The 6th seed are the Rams. The Seahawks are the 5. The Lions are back in. The Titans make it no. So Fuller once again has a great year, but still can't make the playoffs over there in Tennessee. Here's a Pro Bowl roster. Fuller made it. That's nice. So did Mahomes and Blair Murphy, who was one of the best quarterbacks this year. Walker. Sean Buckner was the best, or I guess the top running back over in the AFC. Okay. Did Wheatley make the Pro Bowl? I hope he did. He didn't. Come on, man. Aiyuk made it. Great. Nobody so far on this list. Any linemen? Nope. Defensive lineman, probably not. And then linebacker, anybody? Not even Fred Warner made it. We didn't have a single We didn't have a single Pro Bowler. We were that bad, really? We had Callahan, the fullback, that's it, but I think he had like 6 rushing touchdowns this year. Great. But it's going to be a Saints-Jaguars Super Bowl matchup. The 2 seeds reach the Super Bowl. Looks like the Cardinals lost their first game against Seattle as Detroit took down the Rams in the first round. But Jaguars won a lot of games this year, and wow, they're going for their first title. Now it's time for yearly awards. Blair Murphy wins MVP. So we have him, Cameron Butler, and Patrick Mahomes in our division. Kill me now, man. How are we supposed to be successful? Gotta just make our defense better. Doug Peterson, Coach of the Year. All right, now for the AFC awards. Keon Johnson wins Opoy. That makes sense. Depoy goes to another Jaguar, Danny Woodard. O'Roy goes to Terrell Pleasance over in Tennessee. Defensive rookie, Darren Baskerville for the Raiders. Best quarterback, Antonio Fuller, well deserved. He was due for one of those at some point. Best running back, no question about that. Best receiver, Josh Downs. Linebacker or lineman, Daniel Rhodes. Woodard wins best defensive line, so 2 awards for him. Weston, best linebacker. Samuel, best defensive back. And Frank Morgan, best kicker. The AFC, best kicker goes to Scotty O'Sullivan. How do the Rams have 2 kickers in the top 4? What? Give me a break. Kenneth Walker wins Offensive Player of the Year again. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Micah Parsons. That's like the 3rd straight year he's won it. And Wheatley wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. That means he's a superstar development now. That is huge. That was a huge rookie year for him. This offense is trending upward a lot, folks. Frank Ayers wins Defensive Rookie of the Year over Antoine Lewis and 2 Niners rookies in James McCann and Micah Betts. But Lewis was a Pro Bowler. I'm not sure Ayers was, but he still wins that award. Best quarterback goes to Blair Murphy. Best running back, Kenneth Walker. Best receiver goes to Amon-Ra St. Brown. But Wheatley was right behind him and CeeDee Lamb and over Jamison Williams and Justin Jefferson. So we might have a superstar on our hands. I mean, we literally do, but like an actual superstar. Braves, best offensive lineman. Parsons, once again, best defensive line. Dwayne Clancy, best linebacker. Tariq Woolen, best defensive back. And we saw the best kicker. But that does mean Wheatley has an upgrade point, but not only that, has a depth trait upgrade. Let's do slot again for him. He's now up to a 79 overall player. And it's great to see that gold icon right there. That's awesome, man. Oh my God. Look at that Super Bowl. The Jaguars shut them out 28-0. They were a dominant force this year. What the heck? Now we're going to see if Warner did retire at 35. He's not on the top 5 list. Let's just go check our team out first. Let's see if we lost anybody at all. We did. He did retire, as I thought. So it was a smart move not to give him a contract. So there goes the second to last bastion of these really good players on this defense. And maybe it's time to trade Hufanga and just give McCann the start at strong safety. Maybe you draft another safety or sign a different one. But you go young because he is 31 years old. The defense still isn't playing well. So you could still go younger there. Nick Bosa retires as a Ram. I think Fitzpatrick, a lot of other guys have retired. Kyler Murray's done. But I think it's at least an idea to trade away Hufanga because he still is worth a lot, probably. So nearly halfway through, we are 4 out of 10 years into our tenure here. No playoff appearances thus far, but after we kind of reset the roster over the course of the last 2 years, we are gaining more wins each year. Things have looked really good this year in a couple different areas. But I'm not going to fire the DC out. I think I'm going to keep him around The run game in terms of the defense improved vastly over the course of one season with him under helm. So I will let him stick around. We're going to keep the OC as well because things were looking good there too. Just got to run the ball better. But for the negotiations, we're going to pick up the options for Kilroy, obviously. That's a no-brainer. And then for Gilliard, going to pick up that one too. They both cost us quite a bit of money. But that's all right. And then for Brennan, I'm going to let him walk. Probably look towards the draft for another receiver. And by the way, here's your confirmation on our draft picks this year. We're going to have the 5th overall pick. So that's at least good. But they got, apparently Leon Webb's going to go 1st overall. I really hope that's not the case because I would love to get him. I really would, now that Warner's actually gone. And then our 2nd pick is going to come at pick 18. So, yeah, pretty good spots. And now it applies to Sheldon. He's a round 1 talent, so it does apply, finally. So we could go with either receiver, really. I liked both. I think I liked Sheldon a bit more than the other guy, which was Derek Coleman, who's supposed to go up here somewhere at pick 8. So you can wait on the receiver. But if you want to go for that linebacker, Leon Webb, you might want to trade up from pick 5, which could be doable. We enter free agency with $80 million in cap room, 56 players on the roster. So a lot of money to work with. We can make some key signings to really improve this team now. Because with all these young players, you have the ability to sign big free agents. So another quarterback's available. How have they screwed this up so bad with the quarterbacks? This is the 2nd straight year, maybe the 3rd straight, where the guy that won the Super Bowl, especially this guy in a shutout, and MVP, and he's a free agent. How? McLean's available, who was that really good receiver a couple years back. He's a superstar dev, 91 overall. Do you go after him? Pair him besides Wheatley, you got... I mean, Wheatley can probably still perform as well as he has in the slot alone. Is McLean good enough to be in number 1? Hasn't necessarily proven that. So it could be an option to go after, but once again, there's so many good quarterbacks available. Almost at a loss as to how that's possible, man. Like, how come? The rest of the class is a lot of veterans. Not sure there's a lot. I mean, we're probably not going to be able to use all of our cap room. But those are the top free agents. That's the episode, folks. This is your lineup to close out the episode. Gotta get one more receiver to add to our team. They bumped Wheatley down all the way to normal. I will be putting him back to superstar. I always reset the rookies back to what they were because no way that he should be going down at all after his rookie year. He won Rookie of the Year. How does it make any sense? It doesn't. So back to superstar he goes. He's going to be the one, but the offensive line, still all star. George Ford, still a star. Faulkner, Casper, still stars. Stevens, 2. Newsom, still a star. That's good. Stockton went down as well from superstar to normal, so I'm going to have to increase that as well. Back to what it was. I am going to put Chisholm on the trade block now because I got to get Stockton playing time to see maybe if he could be better than Newsom. I'll go ahead and bump Stockton over him, and I am going to add Chisholm to the trade block. See what offers we get for him down the line, but he should be one of the top running backs in terms of guys available in the market and on the trade block. He's probably the top option across the board. So, should get some good offers. Chambers goes down to star, but I think that makes sense, man. I think that makes sense. I think he deserves to go down. Allen deserves to stay up. Everybody else, I think, deserves where they're at. So, I think this is fine. Now, do you start McCann at free safety and keep Hufanga, who is now 32 years old, 88 overall? I'm going to add him to the trade block and see what offers we get next time around. I think it's worth doing. And then you just go fully young, but got to think about linebacker, perchance. I mean, linebacker across the board could use improvements. Safety could too. I think I'm set on the secondary in terms of the corners. I want to keep these young guys all around for at least another year or two. I want to give this defensive line one more chance. But for the safeties and these linebackers, got to figure out what we're going to plug in here. But that's going to be it, folks. Thanks for watching as always. Please like and subscribe. Comment your thoughts down below on who should stay on the team, who shouldn't, who should we go after in the draft over the guys that we initially saw, and what do you guys think about Faulkner's rookie or second year? What do you think about Wheatley? Thought he was pretty good. I'll see you guys next time, though. Thanks for watching as always, and yeah, peace out.